Hi everyone, today we are going to be making this lovely bride. We are going to be making actually a set of dolls, a bride and a groom. So I have both of them here. And in this video today we are only going to be showing the bride. You know, this doesn't have to just be a bride though. It can be a doll or a princess or, you know, something other than a bride. But this is what I came up with. This is an original pattern that I will be having the pattern on the blog as a free pattern that you can access through my website. So make sure to check out the links in the description of this video. I'll have the link to the blog where you can get the pattern, as well as other links, you know, to my Facebook and my website. And be sure to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube as well so you can get updates on when I post new videos. But I'll show you a 360 of this beautiful doll. Okay, so the supplies we're going to need for this one, I'll show you in part 2, the video for the groom, what supplies we need for him. But I'm going to set him aside. Say bye. So I'm going to set him aside and we're just going to work on the bride. So for the bride, we need the colors. Well, I'm first using Red Heart yarn, and actually for the skin tone though, I got this old vintage yarn. I don't even know where I got this or who gave this to me, but it's old. So I'm using, because it's great skin tone, so get something that's skin tone, skin color. You can use off-white like Aran for Red Heart yarn if you wanted to for skin tone. That's a great, you know, off-white color, or, you know, any skin color. You know, I'm obviously making a white person, but you can make, you know, ethnic dolls as well. So get skin tone color. We're going to need, that's our main color. Actually, you can see underneath the dress is her legs, so, and then her body and everything, but this dress is attached. You can't remove the dress. So then we need white for the dress, but you can again change the color for the dress. That is I'm using Red Heart yarns for all of this except the skin tone. I don't know what this is. And then for the hair, I'm using Simply Soft, which is golden, but again, you can change the color, whatever color hair, like I have for the groom. I have dark brown, and that is Red Heart yarn. But this is Simply Soft in gold. And we need red for the flowers and for the lips. And I'll show you how I made the flowers and the lips because I didn't use the full skein. I actually pulled apart two of the strands. And I'll show you how to do that. And then we need beads. I used little seed beads for the necklace, for the earrings, and in each flower. There's a lot of sewing involved in this pattern. This is a very intricate pattern. I would probably recommend this for somebody who's intermediate or even advanced. But you know, if you're a beginner and you want to follow along, do so. I mean, it'll be a great challenge, you know, for everybody. So, and then you need a piece of tulle and some ribbon for around this. If you're going to make a bride, I mean, you can use tulle. And then ribbon for around the bun and around the waistband. And obviously you're going to need some stuffing for stuffing this piece, so it's a little stuffed doll. And we're going to need the hook size we're going to use is a 3.5mm hook, which is an E size hook. So make sure that you have that handy. We're going to use that for the whole pattern. And then we need a scissors and a yarn needle to do the sewing. Now I used actually 3 different sized yarn needles. I used this one for the main stuff for the yarn, but then for like threading and embroider work, I used actually a smaller needle. So you know, maybe get like a pack of sewing needles and that may help. So, and you can use embroidery floss, or you can just tear apart the strands of yarn to make the face on this. So let's get started with the bride. And you know, if you have any questions about this, you know, leave a comment or email me. I'll put all that information, like I said earlier, in the description of this video. So if you have any questions along the way, but I'll try to make it as comprehensive and easy as possible. So I'll set this aside and we'll get started. We have the pattern actually written right in front of me here. I'll show you. So if you can see here, we have the pattern. And we're going to start with the head and then make the hair and the bun, and then the legs and body, and the arms, and then the dress. Okay, and then the flowers will come last, and then the assembly. Okay, and then we go into the groom. But the groom is going to be in a separate video, so I'll put the link for the video for that one in the description of this video as well, so you can see, you can get the link for the groom. You know, you can make a prince and a princess or something cute like that. So let's start with the skin tone. And this is all 10-ply yarn, so if you can't get the same exact type, the same brand as I can get, you can use the 10-ply. Sorry, I do want to mention before we start that this is 4-ply, 4-ply yarn. I said 10, but I think the yarn, once you untwist the end here on all of them, you'll see that there's 4, okay, 4 strands like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oops. Okay, well 3 and 4 are there, but 1, 2, 3, and 4, like this, and like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's size 4 yarn. So let's get started with the skin tone, and we'll start with the head. So start with a slip knot. Put the short end over the long end, and then fold that down, and pull that through, and pull tight. Okay. I'll show you again because I don't want to make it that long. Short end over the long end, fold down, and pull tight. Insert your hook and pull. Okay, now these stitches are going to be quite small and tight, as you can see in her face. These are very tight stitches, okay? So I want you to follow along very closely, and you can see in the hair too, and it's going to become quite stiff because it is going to be so tight, but you want it to kind of be like that. So you don't want it to be too loose where then this polyfill is going to be poking through the stitches. So let's follow the pattern. In my pattern I do show special stitches, single crocheting 2 together, double crocheting 2 together, a popcorn stitch, those kinds of things. So make sure you read the pattern and get that. And then also for the head, hair, body, and arms, we're going to be working in continuous rounds. So we're not going to be slip stitching and chaining up anything. We're just going to be working in continuous rounds. So I do highly recommend having a stitch marker available. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a different colored piece of yarn, and we can insert that in the beginning of each round. So I'll show you how to do that. And for the embroidery, you'll have to just see the face and just kind of eyeball it, but I'll try to show you as much as I can for the embroidering of the face. So starting with the beige or skin tone, chain up 2, so yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through, and 2. Okay, so I chained up 2. Then in the second chain from the hook, we're going to put 6 single crochets in there. So the loop that's on the hook never counts as anything, and then that's 1 and 2. So that second, basically our first chain, just insert your hook in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, that's our first single crochet, so make 5 more in there. 1, 2, whoopsie, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And notice how I'm working more in a circle now, because we're working in a round. And I kind of crocheted over the top of my straggler as well. Okay, so now we're back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and now at this point you can insert your stitch marker if you need to, just to show the beginning. Okay, like that. And then go into the first stitch. For round number 2, we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. Okay, so insert your hook into this first stitch here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's 1, and then we have to put another one right into that same stitch. Okay, so 1 and 2, both in the same stitch. Now going to the next stitch, making 2 single crochets right in there. 1 and 2. Okay. Next stitch, we're going to put 2. So just put 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. I'll meet you back up. We should have 12 single crochets at the end of this round.
Okay.
Alright, so we have 12 single crochets all the way around now. And now we can move our stitch marker up. Alright. Now when I move my stitch marker up, remember there's a stitch right there behind the stitch marker, so we have to go into that stitch. But in this next round it says single crochet 2 in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch 6 times. Okay, so what the heck does that mean? Well, we're going to put 2 single crochet in this first stitch here, and that's behind my stitch marker. I'll try to move it out of the way. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then do it again in the same stitch. We're putting 2 single crochet in that first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next. Okay, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and just putting 1 single crochet in the next. So at the end of this round you should have 18 single crochet. So again, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 in the next. So pretty much every other stitch is going to have 2 single crochets. So do that all the way around for 18, and I'll meet you up when I have done that. Okay, so I just finished round 3. We have 18 single crochets all the way around, so now we can move our stitch marker up. And now on round 4, it says single crochet 2 in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches 6 times, for a total of 24 stitches. So increasing again, we're going to put 2 single crochet in this first stitch, 1 and 2, okay, and then single crochet 1 in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Okay, so 2 in the first, 1 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1, 2, and then 1 stitch in the next 2 stitches, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 in here, and then 1 in here. Okay, so repeat that again. So 2 single crochet in the next, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Alright, and repeat that. So repeat that all the way around. Put 2 single crochet and then 1 in the next 2, and I'll meet you up when you have 24 single crochets. Okay, so we just finished round 4, so now I'm just going to move my stitch marker up, and now we're going to go on to round number 5, where it says put 2 single crochet in the first, or in the next stitch, and then single crochet 1 in the next 3 stitches. So I'll kind of explain that. So put 2 single crochet in this first stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, so you have 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then put 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Then put 2 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so repeat that pattern all the way around. Okay, so we have to do 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so repeat that pattern all the way around. You should have 30 single crochet at the end of this round, and I'll meet you up when I have my 30 stitches. Alright, so we just finished round 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our last increase round of this head of the bride. So move up your stitch marker, and we just need to increase on this round, and then we're done increasing for this for the head. So move your stitch marker up, and then it says to put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then single crochet 1 in the next 4 stitches. So you should have a total, and do that 6 times, and then you should have a total of 36 stitches. So in this first stitch here, we're going to put 2 single crochet, just like how we've been doing it. 1 and 2. Okay, and then put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, so last round we did 1 in the next 3 stitches. Now this row we're going to do 1 in the next 4 stitches. So you kind of get the increased pattern, basically, you know. So each round you go up, you do an extra 1 stitch. Okay, so 2 in the first, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 2 in the next, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then repeat that pattern. Go 2 single crochet in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Do that pattern all the way around. You should have 36 stitches at the end of this round, and I'll meet you back up when we'll go on to the next round. Alright, so we just finished round 6. So we have 36 stitches, and that's the end of our increases. So now move up your stitch marker, and now for rounds 7 to 16, we are going to just be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So just insert your hook in this first stitch and just put the 1 single crochet, and then the next just 1. Okay, so just continue putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around for, I think that's 10 rounds. So I'll meet you back up then when I finish round 16. So go through and finish round 16. So this is round 7. So you're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 off camera. I'll do that on my own. And then I'll meet you up when I am going to go on to round 17. Alright, so now we just finished rounds 7 to 16, just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So your piece should look like this so far. And now we're going to do one round of decrease, and then we are going to do an assembly step by embroidering the face. So let's do one round of decreasing. To decrease, we need to do a single crochet 2 together. So go into, you can move your stitch marker up. Okay, and then go into the first stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, and then go directly into the next stitch. Okay, do not yarn over and pull through, just go right directly into the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, so you just made 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So that's a single crochet decrease, or single crochet 2 together. And now we just need to regular single crochet into the next 4 stitches. Okay, so go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we need to repeat what we did at first. So do a single crochet decrease. So insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go directly into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then just do a regular single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. Okay, so then repeat that again. Do a single crochet decrease, and then a single crochet in the next 4. And just repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, you should have 30 single crochets. Do not fasten off. We will just remove our hook and start embroidering the face. So I'll meet you back up when I am at the end of this round. Alright, so I just finished round 17, so I have 30 stitches all the way around here, and you can start seeing that it's kind of going inward to close the bottom of the head. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to pull this a little bit and remove my hook and set that aside. Now where your stitch marker is, that's going to be the back of the head. Okay, so flipping it to the front. This is how the head is going to look so far. This is what it looks like. And this is how big it should be. It should fit in the palm of your hand. And now we are going to be making the face. Okay, so we need to start off with the nose. I usually start with the nose and then work around it. The nose is going to be the center point of the head, and it's going to be in the same color as this. So you can use the other end of your skein of yarn that you're using, or if you have extra scraps of the same color on the side, use that. And I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll do eyes and eyelashes, and then eyebrows, and then the mouth. Okay? And then we'll continue on decreasing our head and moving on to the hair. So let's start off with the nose, and I'll just show you a little bit here. And you can make the face look however you want, you know, give it some character, you know, and make it like happy, sad, like straight face or whatever. So I highly recommend having a yarn needle during this whole project because we are going to be using it quite a bit. So yarn your needle here, and I actually use a couple different sizes of needles also. This is the biggest needle I'll be using, and then I'll use this size that's a little bit smaller. It's more for embroidery floss, and then I'll use one smaller size as well, but I have to go get that. I don't have it with me right now, but so I use 3 different sizes. But anyway, eyeball the middle of your head, somewhere around here, and go in from the inside of your head to the outside to where you feel like the nose should be. I think that's a little too high, and you can move it wherever you need to. There we go. Okay, so come out from the inside and pull a little bit because we're going to be going around 3 or 4 times. And you want to go to either side, just skip 1 or 2 stitches and just go into the inside then. Okay, so that's where our nose is going to be. And we just want to keep continuing, then going into that same stitch right there, and then going into that next stitch. So basically just going around and around until the nose is big enough, or how we see it, how we want it to be. Again, this is where your creativity comes in. I mean, you can even go vertically, make your stitches go up and down, but I kind of like it sideways. So there, that's my nose. So now, to fasten off that, just cut the yarn and tie a knot on the inside. And you don't have to, worry about weaving in any ends, because it's going to be on the inside of this head and we're going to stuff this and nobody's going to see that. So just make sure you tie the knot, though quite tight, but not too tight where it's going to show up on the outside. And if it does start to show that you're pulling too tight, take this and go underneath and kind of pull it out like that. Okay? And then continue tying your knot. You can tie it twice or 3 times, whatever you feel is most comfortable, for you, what you feel is secure enough. Okay, so you can see I just tied the knot right there. Okay, and then you can shove these inside the head, and now we'll move on to the other part of the face. So I need black yarn and I need red yarn. So let me grab that. Okay, and now for the eyes, I use a regular full piece of yarn, but for the eyebrows and the eyelashes, I actually take this yarn and untwist it and pull it in half. So you can see there's 4 strands, 1, 2, 3, 4. I take 2 strands and 2 strands and pull this apart and use the 2 strands to make the eyelashes and the eyebrows. And I'll show you what I do when I do that. So we'll make the eyes first. So take your full strand of yarn and yarn your needle. Oh, it's going to be a little difficult because this is a smaller. Here we go. We'll use a bigger one. There we go. Okay, and we're going to do a French knot for the eyes. Now you can use safety eyes on this if you wish, that's totally fine, but I want mine to be just with the yarn. So we're going to go in around this area here for this eye, and then around this area for here. And you really have to eyeball it because there's really no right or wrong way to do this. So if you want to, look at this one, this bride, and you can see where I put her eyes. Here, I'll set her up here on this ball of yarn. She can rest there, and you can see then. So we'll do right here for one. And the way to do it is you go in from the inside out, kind of like how we started with the nose, and then we're going to make a French knot. And to do a French knot, kind of bear with me, you pull your one strand up like this with your pointer finger, kind of looping it around your pointer, and then go from the back like this, and then wrap it around, okay, and then go back into the side of this next stitch. Okay, I think that's how you do it. Let's try it and see if that worked. If that did not work, then there's a different way to do it. No, it looks like it worked. So there is your French knot. Okay, and then that's secure. Okay, so I'll show you again for the other side. So then once that's secure, cut your yarn and tie your knot. And then I'll meet you back up when I'm ready to do the other eye, and I'll show you how to do that French knot again. Okay, so for the other eye, we're going to go, I just yarned my needle again with new yarn, and then we're going to go opposite of this eye here on this side, wherever you feel is the right spot, and we're going to go in from the inside, from right here, I think. That's a good spot. Pull that through, and to do a French knot, I'll show you one more time. You're going to hold your yarn like this, so basically have your finger here and loop this back toward the back of your finger. Go in from the back of this yarn and then loop it around like that, and then go into the next stitch right next to where you just inserted your yarn, and just push that through and go from the inside and pull that all the way, and you can let that go, and then pull the other side and kind of make it tight. Okay, that is a French knot, and there you have your two eyes, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this yarn and make a knot, and then we will move on to the eyelashes and the mouth. Alright, so this is how our bride's face looks so far. Now keep this in mind for when we do the groom. We're going to do the same nose and the same eyes for the groom. Also, we're going to do the same eyebrows and mouth for the groom, but with the bride, we're just going to do different eyelashes. Okay, that's the only thing different. So I'm not even going to show you how to embroider the groom, or actually I will. Never mind. Okay. Anyways, going on to the eyelashes, we are going to take our yarn and see how I untwist this, and there's 2 strands and 2 strands. There's 4 strands there. I'm going to split them in half, so I have 2 strands in each side, and pull. And just keep pulling until you feel that's long enough. I did about 10 inches or so for each, I guess 10 inches or so. So just continue stretching that and twisting that. Like so. So now we have a long piece like that. And we're going to cut that then. You know, you could cut a long strand and then untwist it. Maybe I should have done that. So cut the yarn and then untwist it. And there you go. So we'll be using both of these, so set one aside. And now get your smaller needle, the smaller embroidery needle here. Let's see where my other one is. Oh, I guess I lost it. We'll use this one. And yarn your needle. And for the eyelashes, we're going to go in from the inside, right in the same stitch as we made the eye. Okay, so right in here. And we're going to make 3 eyelashes. So really, again, you can eyeball it. So just don't pull too far out. You want there to be a little bit of string inside so that you can tie your knot. And you can go not too far. You don't even want to go too far. Maybe 1 stitch over. Okay. And then go back in and pull that through. Okay. And then go back in toward the eye. Oops. This is a tricky part because you kind of need, you know, you need to get some glasses on. There we go. Okay, and just keep going back and forth into, whoops, around, just like that. And then tie your knot when you have finished your third eyelash. And then go on to doing the other eye with the other two strands that you pulled apart with the yarn. So I have to find my other embroidery needle because this one is quite large for this task. So I'm going to do that and find my other needle and do my other eyebrow or my other eyelashes off camera, but you continue embroidering this, you know, going back and forth just like that. So there are my eyelashes, and if you're satisfied with the way it looks like that, then you can tie a knot. So make sure that you have the right strand there and there, and cut your yarn and tie your knot from the inside. Okay, and you can do that and then do the other side exactly the same, and I'll meet you back up when my eyelashes are completed. Alright, so I just finished my other set of eyelashes, and you can see here now both of my eyes are done. Now we are going to do the eyebrows and the mouth, and then we'll be finished with the face. For the eyebrows, we're going to do the same thing we did with the eyelashes and cut a strand of yarn and then untwist it and take 2 strands in each hand and pull and untwist those. I mean, you could use black embroidery floss, but I'm cheap and I just want to use my yarn. And I found my smaller embroidery needle. It was just on my table underneath my crochet. So you want to use a little bit of a smaller needle for this one. Just like when you get in those sewing kits, the largest one in that sewing kit, you know, those circular blue ones. If you're in America, I guess you can get those easily. Anyways, just use one of those smaller embroidery needles and yarn your needle there. Alright, and for the eyebrows we're using black. For the mouth we're going to be using red, but we're going to take apart, we're going to do the whole untwisting with 2 strands with the red as well. And I'll show you that. So for the eyebrows though, we want to just make eyebrows. And you can make eyebrows that are nice and arched, just like this. And you just go back and forth through the thing there, and so it's going to look like that. Okay, so now I went back and forth, so now I have to go back. So I usually like to just turn this upside down because I am right-handed, and just go in to there. I have to go all the way in like that, and then go back out, and then go back in. Just like that. That was so simple. And you could, if you had enough yarn on this strand, just go straight into the next section to make your other eyebrow. And you want to kind of make them even, obviously. So just make sure that you are making it so. Oh, see, I screwed up there. See, she's gonna look like a mad bride if her eyebrow is that arched down. So to take it out, you just take your needle behind there and redo. Okay, so just finish your eyebrows and I'll meet you up when we're about to do the mouth. Alright, so this is our bride so far. It doesn't look like a bride yet, but I have the eyebrows and the eyes and the nose done, and now we are going to do the mouth. And the mouth has to be in red because otherwise it's going to look like a man. So take your red and do the same thing like we did with the black and cut the yarn and then pull that just like that. So now we have our mini strand, and thread your needle. Okay, and then for the mouth, you want it to be a smiling mouth because brides are very happy on their wedding day. But if you want to make it, a straight mouth or like a thick mouth or whatever you really want to do, a thin mouth, sort of happy or very happy, you can make a big smiley face. This is totally up to your creativity. But what we want to do is go in from the inside and just go back and forth. Right there. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look, and then you can go back. And you just want to go into the same, red strand so that you're not missing any spaces, and, there's not going to be a weird, flesh color in between the stitches or anything like that. Okay, so that was easy. And this is what my mouth looks like. Okay, so obviously you can tell, every doll is not going to be the same. I mean, look at this bride and look at this bride. The mouth is a little different on both, the eyelashes are a little different, the eyebrows are definitely different. So, you can have your creativity or kind of just go with the flow and then see what it comes up with, So now I just need to tie this in a knot on the inside. You can see the inside looks all jumbled up, but nobody is going to even see that, so that's our own little secret, that it's all messed up inside. Messed up in the head. Anyway, so I'm gonna just tie this off and then we can move on to the next step. So our face is completed. There, just shove that in there. There. So our face is completed now. So now we can go on to decreasing. Now at this point you're going to want to bring in your polyfill. So you want to have a ton of your polyfill, and let me clear out this area. So now we're just going to be working with the flesh color. And turn your head upside down there. Insert your hook. There we go. Alright, so now we're going on to another decrease round. And like I said, have your polyfill nearby. And our next decrease round, it says, let's see here, eyebrows, eyes, eyelashes, red lips, and start stuffing, and then go on to the next decrease, which is round 18. So move your stitch marker up and go on to round 18. It says to single crochet 2 together, so you remember that from the last round. We're going to insert our hook in the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, then go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's a single crochet decrease. And then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So just do a regular single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then again, repeat that. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook for the decrease there, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So do that all the way around. You should have a total of 6 of those groupings, and that should equal 24 stitches all the way around. So I'm going to meet you back up when I have my 24 stitches, and I'm going to start stuffing as well. Alright, so I just finished round 18. I'm going to remove my hook for a second and stuff this baby right here. And you want to be quite generous with your stuffing. Let me grab some more. But because you don't want it to be, you know, not so stuffed where you're having like things like dents in the head or anything like that, you know. If you're having dents in your head like that, then you have to stuff it more. So, but you don't want it to be too stuffed where your stitches are stretching apart either. But with the tight stitch that we are using, we shouldn't have that issue. Oops, and I dropped my hook. So you want to distribute the stuffing accordingly. And once you feel like it's squishy and like enough and not too stiff and not too squishy, if it's just right, then you can move on to the next rounds. So I'll grab my hook and we can continue working. Okay, so for round 19, we can move our stitch marker up if you need to. And it says to single crochet 2 together and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches 6 times. So do your single crochet decrease on those first 2 stitches there, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, and you're going to have to work around the polyfill and everything and try to manipulate this piece. So now repeat that. So do your single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And it is going to get quite difficult because you're now decreasing and everything is coming inward. So you really have to use some strength. And then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, then do your decrease. Okay, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches there. And do that all the way around. You should have a total of 18 single crochet at the end of this round, and I'll meet you back up when we'll go on to round 20. Alright, so I highly recommend counting after every round, because just this last round I just made a mistake, and I think it was on film, where I did 2 decreases in a row. So don't do that. Just do on round 19, just do a single crochet 2 together and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together and 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches all the way around. There should be 6 times doing that. I ended up making a mistake in putting 2 decreases next to each other and I came out with the wrong number of stitches. So I highly recommend counting and going back if you make a mess up there. So now we should have 18 stitches all the way around. You can see it coming in and our head is almost finished. So there it is so far. So now going on to the last round of the head, we are going to do a single crochet decrease and then single crochet in the next stitch 6 times. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and then go into the next stitch for a regular single crochet, and then do another decrease on the next stitch. So basically every other stitch you're doing a decrease. So do that all the way around. You should have a total of 12 stitches at the end of this round, and then you can fasten off with a long tail for, at the end, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'll meet you back up when I have my 12 stitches. Alright, so I just finished my round. I have 12 stitches all the way around. To fasten off, we go into the very next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and through for a slip stitch. Okay, and pull tight. And usually when I also like to fasten off, I just like to chain one and then cut my yarn. And you want a long tail for sewing, and just pull that all the way through and pull tight. Then we can remove our stitch marker if it will come out. There we go. Okay. And there's our head. Yay! Okay, you can also take some more polyfill and kind of shove it in there. And we can shove some more in there when we're going to attach it to the body. But now let's move on to the hair. So for my hair, I'm just going to set this aside. For the hair, I used golden, and we're going to make it in two parts. We're going to make this top part here, and then we're going to make the bun, and then stuff the bun and attach it afterward. So for the hair, I'm using Simply Soft in this golden color. You can use whatever color hair you want. And we're going to start with a slip knot. Let me get this all out of the way. Alright, so start with a slip knot. So put the short end over the long end, fold that down, and pull that through. Insert your hook. Now for the hair, it says to chain 2, yarn over, and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through. So you have 2 chains there, 2 chains. And then we're going to go on to round 1. Starting, we need to single crochet 6 into the second chain from the hook. So this loop on the hook never counts as anything, and just go in 1 and 2. You're basically repeating rounds 1 through, let's see here, 36. Rounds 1 through 6 for the head. You're basically repeating that. So anyways, let us continue. Go into the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go right back into that same chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go back in there. So this is 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and we're going to be working in continuous rounds, so you can grab that stitch marker if you need it and work in the rounds there. Okay, so count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now in the second round, we are going to be putting 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So go into that first stitch. It's going to be a little difficult. There we go. Okay, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. There's 1, and then go directly into the same stitch. And then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2 single crochets in the first stitch. And we want to do 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around for a total of 12 single crochets. Okay, so do that, and I'll meet you back up when I have my 12 stitches. Alright, so going on to round number 3. We have 12 stitches now all the way around, so move your stitch marker up. Okay, and now go in for round number 3. It says single crochet 2 in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch 6 times. Okay, so put 2 single crochet in this first stitch. Let me move my stitch marker. There we go. So go into the first stitch here and put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, and then just put 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then put 2 single crochet in the next stitch. It's going to be kind of difficult because these are very tight stitches. Okay, and then 1 in the next stitch. So basically every other stitch you're going to put 2 single crochets. At the end of this round you should have 18 single crochets. So make sure you count back and make sure you have 18 single crochets, and I'll meet you back up when I have done that. Alright, so I just finished round 3. Now going on to round number 4, we are going to move a stitch marker up. It says single crochet 2 in the next stitch and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches 6 times. So go into this first stitch here for 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then single crochet, a regular single crochet 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. So it's going to be difficult here. If it is a little difficult, you can, loosen up your stitches, your tension. So 1 and 2. I might do that. Alright, then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, so do that all the way around. You should have 24 single crochet at the end of this round, so I'll meet you back up when I have done that. Alright, so I just finished round 4 and we have 24 stitches all the way around. So now going on to round 5, move your stitch marker up and put 2 single crochet in the first stitch and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And so just repeat that all the way around. So going into this first stitch, it's always difficult because my stitch marker is covering it. So gotta get regular stitch markers. There we go. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch here, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So just continue doing that pattern all the way around and you should have 30 single crochet at the end of this round. So I'll meet you back up when we'll go on to round number 6. Alright, this is what we have so far. So now going on to round number 6, we want to move our stitch marker up. And this is our last increase round. So put 2 single crochet in the first stitch and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So insert your hook into the next stitch right there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 1, and then go in directly into the same stitch for another one. Another single crochet there. And then single crochet 1 in the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then put 2 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and just repeat that pattern all the way around, and you should have a total of 36 single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you up when I have done that and going on to round 7. Alright, so I just finished our last increase round, and we have 36 stitches all the way around here now. So now rounds 7 to 13, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So 7 rounds, we are just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. So move up your stitch marker and just do one single crochet in each stitch. And so then I'll start off here putting one single crochet in the first stitch. Usually we put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, but now we're just putting one, and just one single crochet all the way around, so you should have a total of 36 single crochet. Do rounds 7 through 13, okay? So finish round 13, and then I'll meet you back up when we'll do the last round. We're gonna make a little bit of a stylish, a little bit like bangs and stuff on the hair. So this will start curving into a bowl shape, which is exactly what you want. So finish round 13 and or round 7 through 13, and then I'll meet you back up when I'm finished doing that, and then we'll go on to round 14. Alright, so this is what we have so far. At this point, you kind of want to take it and put it on your head to see if it actually fits, and you may have to stretch it a little bit and put it on the head. Like a cap. Make sure it actually fits, just like that. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like so far. Now we just have to do one more semi-round, I guess. We want to make bangs here, similar to this one. Okay, so they're like twins. So we're gonna make like this area here. Okay, and you want the hair to go down to the neck area. So see how far that is right now? You want to pull this down and back so it's closer like that. Okay, so at this point you can stretch it and manipulate it to fit on the head, and then we're going to go on to this next round here. So I'm going to remove that. And the next round, round 14, this is our last round of the hair part, and then we're going to make the bun. I'm going to stretch this a little bit. And you know, if it's not big enough, if it's not covering everything, you know, covering where you want the hair to be, you can make this, you know, do a couple more rounds. You know, do 1 or 2 more rounds of the hair, and then that should cover everything. Okay, but let's continue. Round 14 says to single crochet in the next 10 stitches. Okay, you can move your stitch marker up. Okay, so 10 stitches. We're just going to single crochet 1 in each of the next 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then it says to double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that's a double crochet. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, then it says to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. So slip stitch, going into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. That's a slip stitch. And do it again in the next stitch. So you want to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. Alright, and then it says to double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and do that in the next 10 stitches there. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and then it says slip stitch until the end of the round. So the last 4 stitches, we just want to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, and do that until the end of the round. So the last 4 stitches. Okay, and then to fasten off, I usually just chain 1. And with this, you want to cut a long tail for sewing. So cut like this much, and then just pull that all the way through. Okay, you can remove your stitch marker if it'll come out. There we go. Alright, now stretch, if you need to, stretch this hair piece, and then make sure that this slip stitch area in the front is in the front, and slip it on the head. And position it and kind of get it where you need it to be. And you want it even in the front so that it's not covering the eyebrows, but close enough to the eyebrows. Okay, just like that. That should be good. Okay, now that it's on the head, we want to sew it. Okay, so we're going to take this and just secure it to the head. Okay, so take your yarn needle and the yarn, thread it, okay, and now the easiest thing is just going back and forth through a few stitches all the way around. You don't want to get any yarn in the way or anything like that. And make sure that your stitches are not pulled too tight, because then that could give it an ugly pulled look that just does not look good. So make sure it's not too loose that your wig is going to fall off either. So just pull it. Oops. Okay, and you don't want it to look like Frankenstein stitches either. You just want to go in through one stitch. Don't go all the way over here, because then you'll have this long strand like that. You know what I mean? So just go into the very next stitch, and then up and out wherever it lands, I guess. Okay, so continue sewing that all the way around. Once we complete this part, we are going to make the bun for the top of the head, and then we'll be pretty much almost finished with the head. We just need to add the ears. So let's continue doing this, and then I'll meet you back up to make the bun. Alright, so I'm just gonna do my last stitch here, and I can show you how to fasten this off. Very simple, actually, as I'm having a tough time pulling this through. It's very simple. Come on. Yep, that's what happens when you're on cam. Alright. Oh, thank you. That works. There we go. Handy dandy. Alright, so then to fasten off, we just need to go underneath a stitch, and pull. And I'll do that one more time so you can see. Just go underneath a stitch, a stitch you can get your needle through. Now I'm going to use that pliers. Alright, and then go through a loop and make a knot. Okay, and then to get rid of this yarn, I'm going to stuff it inside the head. Just underneath those stitches, and then go through the bottom hole of the head there. Oh my goodness, this pliers is going to come in handy quite a bit for me. There we go. And pull that all the way down. And tight. Remove your needle, and then I like to just coil this. You can cut this or do this. I just like to coil it around my finger and then shove it back into the head. Gives it a little extra more stuffing in there. Okay, and then it's hidden. So there is our head so far, looking good. Now we just have to make the bun at the top of the head, and then the head will be done. Oh, we need to do ears too, but I usually do those last. So there's our head right now, and let's do the bun. So take the same color, golden is my color, whatever hair color you have. Make a slip knot, and just repeat rounds 1 through 4 for the hair. So you should have 24 stitches. So if you need to, rewind this to do the hair part and do 1 through 4, rounds 1 through 4, so you'll have 6, then on round 1, then 12 stitches on round 2, then 18 stitches on round 3, and then 24 stitches on round 4. And then I'll meet you back up when, don't fasten off yet, I'll meet you back up to finish the bun. So do rounds 1 through 4 of the hair, and I'll meet you back up when I have done that. Alright, So now we finished rounds 1 through 4 of the bun. We just repeated rounds 1 through 4 of the hair. And now we're done increasing, so now we're going to do rounds 5 through 9. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 5 rounds of just one single crochet in each stitch around. So I have my stitch marker. We gotta put her away. Okay. So put in your stitch marker and just put one single crochet in each stitch around for rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and then we can fasten off, and that's the bun. And then we have to stuff it and sew it onto the head. So just put one single crochet in each stitch around for these 5 rounds, and I will meet you then back up when we're going to sew it to the head. Alright, so I just finished rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and to fasten off we just want to insert our hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and through for a slip stitch, and then I usually just chain 1 to secure it, and then cut the yarn with a long tail and pull that all the way through, just like that. Okay, and you can remove your stitch marker if you have one. And this is our bun. Now it's going to go at the top here. To line it up, we're going to look at the back of the head, and you see the first circle there. The bottom of your bun is going to hit the bottom of that circle, of that first round. So it's going to hit right here. Okay, so that's where it's going to be, and you want to make sure it's centered on the head like that. And then we want to make sure we stuff it as well so it doesn't flatten out on us. So grab some stuffing. And sometimes I find it easier though to start sewing it and then stuff it afterward, like halfway in between, because it kind of just pushes out the stuffing. So what I'm gonna do here is yarn my needle. Okay, and then, like I said, just line it up so that that circle, it's at the bottom of that circle. Okay, because you kind of want it a little higher. If you, I mean, you can, I guess, do your own thing, you know, have it however low or high you want it on your head, but that's, you know, that's up to you. But this is where I'm going to put it. So then just go back and forth through the stitches and where you want your bun to sit. And then don't forget to stuff it though, because you don't want it to look like that when you're, you know, all done. So just make sure you stuff it as you go. And I'll meet you back up when my bun is attached to the head. Alright, so I'm just finishing up the bun here. And one thing I do want to mention about the bun is that you don't really have to make it perfect because we are putting tulle and a ribbon around it. Unless you're making, you know, a princess or something else, you know, a different type of doll, then you may have to have more of a precise stitching. But for mine, I kind of just went back and forth. So now I'm just fastening off. So just insert your hook in the stitches and then put it through one of the loops and just pull tight like that. And do that a couple times, and then you can weave in your end into the head, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, so now the bun is done, so you can see it's in the center of the head on the top. Okay, and then toward the end of our video, I'll show you how to embellish. We're going to put a piece of tulle. I cut a piece that's about 8 inches by 10 inches. Right now it's not cut perfectly, but we will cut it perfectly. And then I'll round out the corners, on these two corners, and then cut a hole and then put it over the bun and then tie a ribbon around that, so you won't see this imperfection around here like that. So, but I'll do that later. So I just want to let you know that we're going to do that in the near future. And now we have to do the ears, and then our head will be completely done. So that's exciting. So take the flesh color again, and I'll put this aside here. And it says for the ears to chain 2 and then put 4 double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So make your slip knot, insert your hook, chain 2, so yarn over and pull through 1 and 2, and then put 4 double crochets in that second chain. So double crochet, same like how we did on the last round of the hair. We're doing 4 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So it was 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then I usually, to fasten off, chain 1, and then cut with a long strand, and pull that all the way through. Okay, and then sew that to the side of the head, right here. Okay, so do that, and then I'll be back when I have both ears done, so you can rewind and just make another one, and just sew them both to the side of the head right near the hairline, and then I'll meet you up when we are going on to make the legs and the body. Alright, so I just sewed on my other ear. I just made another ear off camera and just sewed it on. So now my face is completely done. The whole head is done. So this is how it should look all the way around. And now we are going to start working on the legs and then the body. So I'll start off with using flesh tone. Now if you want it to look like she has shoes, you can use white at this point, but you can see here her legs, they're just all flesh tone. So I'm just going to use the flesh tone in mine, but you can change it up and use white or black, whatever color you want her shoes to be, and then you can go into change color at about this point and then use the flesh tone up here and just make this portion, you know, the color of the shoes you want it to be. But that's totally up to you. I'm just gonna go with flesh tone so I don't have to change color because the feet are pretty much covered, you know, underneath the dress the whole time. So for the feet, we're going to start with one leg first and then fasten off and then make the other leg. But the other leg we're not going to fasten off. So start with a slip knot, put the short end over the long end, fold down, pull that through. Alright. Same size hook, 3.5 millimeter. Now it says to chain 2. So get the straggler out of there. There we go. Alright, chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, 1, yarn over, pull through, 2. Chain 2. Then it says single crochet 6 in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, right in there. We are going to put 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to work in continuous rounds on this. So insert your stitch marker if you have one. Okay. And you can count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this first stitch here for round 2, it says single crochet 2 in each stitch, so for a total of 12. So put your hook right into the first stitch, if you can get it in there. There we go. Okay, make two single crochets in that first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 2 in each of the rest of them, so you'll have a total of 12 single crochet at the end of this round. So I'll just meet you back up when I have done that. Okay, so I just finished round 2, so going on to round number 3, move up your stitch marker, and it says single crochet 2 in the next stitch, then single crochet in the next stitch, and do that pattern 6 times. So put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, that's your first stitch, so 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and basically putting 2 single crochet in every other stitch. So now the next stitch we're putting 2 in there. And do that all the way around. I'll meet you back up and we will go on to round number 4. At the end of this round you should have 18 single crochet. Alright, I just finished round 3, so we have 18 single crochets all the way around. Now we're going on to round number 4, and it says to single crochet 2 in the next stitch and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So move your stitch marker up, put 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 and 2, both in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 1. Then repeat that. So put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then just repeat that. And repeat that all the way around, and you should have a total of 24 single crochet on this round, round number 4. So I'll meet you back up when I'm ready to go on to round number 5. Alright, so I just finished round number 4, and we're going to go on to round number 5 now. So I just moved up my stitch marker. Round number 5, 6, and 7 are actually all the same. You're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So instead of putting 2 in this first one, we're just putting 1 single crochet. Okay, and then just 1 in each stitch all the way around, and you're going to do this for rounds 5, which is the round we're on, 6, and 7. Okay, so I'll meet you back up when I'm done and completed with round number 7, and when we go, and then I'll meet you back up when we go on to round number 8. Alright, so I just finished rounds 5, 6, and 7, and now I'm going on to round number 8. We are going to decrease on this round, so if you need to move your stitch marker up. And to decrease, we are going to, it says single crochet 2 together, and single crochet in the next 2 stitches 6 times, so for a total of 18 stitches. So go into the very next stitch here, yarn over, pull through, go directly into the very next stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's a decrease, single crochet, and then it says to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Whoopsie, 2 is right here, there we go. Okay, then decrease again, okay, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, then decrease again, and you just want to do that all the way around, that pairing. So this is my 3rd time repeating that. You want to repeat it 6 times, and then you should have 18 stitches at the end of this round, so I'll meet you up when I'm going to go on to round number 9. Okay, we're on round number 9. I just finished round number 8, so now I have 18 stitches. I just moved my stitch marker up. Going directly into round number 9, it just says to single crochet 2 together and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches. So for a total of 17. So just make your decrease on these first 2 stitches here, and then single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So you'll have 17 stitches at the end of this round, and then repeat that same thing for rounds 10 and 11. So single crochet 2 together on the first stitch and then single crochet around. So on round 10 you'll have 16 stitches, and round 11 you'll have 15 stitches. Okay, so I'll meet you back up when I'm finished with round 11. Alright, so I just finished round 11. So we did rounds 9, 10, and 11 off camera. I just showed you the beginning of round 9. So you did a decrease and then you single crocheted all the way around. Then round 10 you decreased and then you single crocheted all the way around for 16 stitches. And then round 11 you decreased and then you single crocheted all the way around for 15 stitches. Now rounds 12 to 21, we are just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So I recommend putting your stitch marker up there and just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So in rounds 12 to 21, okay? And on this first leg, we are going to fasten off after round 21. And I'll meet you up when we do that, and then we're going to make the second leg. Alright, so I just finished round 21 of this first leg, so you can see 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And for this first leg, we're going to fasten off. So just go into the next stitch and yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then to fasten off, I like to chain 1. And then you don't have to cut the yarn too long, but cut it a little long, maybe like 5 inches or less, maybe 3 inches, I guess. We'll only be using that on the inside later. So, and then pull that all the way through and pull tight. Okay, and then you can remove your stitch marker. Now make one exactly like this, except do not fasten off on the second leg, okay? I am going to meet you up when I finish round 21 of my second leg, and then, like I said, we're not going to fasten off, okay? We'll continue to work this leg to join the 2 together. Okay, so do not fasten off on the second leg, but make one exactly like this. So rewind this video, or if you have to, rewind this video and then make a second leg just like this one. Okay, so now we have both legs done. I just did my second leg off camera, so you just have to basically repeat this first leg, and then don't fasten off though on the second leg. We are now going to join the 2 legs together to form one body. So it's going to go like this. Okay, and how to do that, we are going to first single crochet in each stitch of round 21 of the leg you're working on. Okay, so if you need to put your stitch marker back in there, like that, and then just crochet 1 single crochet around each stitch, or in each stitch, so 1 single crochet in each stitch for, this is round 22. And then once we get all the way around this one, we're going to work on attaching the second leg. So get to the end of this round on this leg, and then I'll show you how to attach the second leg. Okay, so I'm all the way back around, and this is again round 22. So now we're going to attach the second leg here. And how to do that, see this stitch where we slip stitched into? We are going to go right into that stitch, okay, like that. And your yarn is in the back here, okay. So you're putting your hook into that stitch, and then simply yarning over and pulling that through, yarning over and pulling through 2. Okay, so you just made your first single crochet in the second leg. So now you're attached, and now you have to single crochet all the way around this piece. Okay, and then I'll show you what we have to do. Just don't twist anything or turn anything. Just make sure that your both legs are in the same position, facing the same way. And I'm just going to crochet around this, and you can continue watching until I get to this middle part to go to the next round here. 2 more stitches. Alright, so I just did my last stitch there, like that. And now this is going to be the beginning of your round now. Okay, so I just removed my stitch marker, and this is the beginning of the round. So now it says in rounds 23 to 29, we are just going to be single crocheting around. So notice here, let me get my stitch here. Okay, so notice here, I'll turn this back around. We crocheted into this stitch here. This is where our last single crochet was. So now we're working this way. So we single crocheted in that stitch already. So now we have to go to this stitch next to it. But I would suggest putting your stitch marker in first. Okay? And then single crocheting into that next stitch on that leg. Okay? And now we just need to single crochet all the way around, and that is for rounds 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Okay? So rounds 23 to 29, you are going to just single crochet all the way around, just like this. Okay? And I'll meet you back up when I'm finished with round 29. Alright, there's a couple things I want to mention while I am crocheting this. First off, we are doing these rows just one single crochet in each stitch around, and that is a total of 30 stitches. So if you needed to count each round, or if you wanted to do a few rounds and then count your stitches, we're having 30 stitches around. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is that once you get comfortable, you know, with this and you're far enough along on these rows, between rows 23 and 29, you can remove your hook, and you can see here in this middle, this, I guess, groin area, you can see there's a big hole here. So you want to sew that. You want to sew the piece that we cut before. You want to sew that closed. So I'm going to do that real quick with my yarn. So just go and whip stitch it around, okay? So like this, going just in and out, back and forth, and then tie a knot once it's secure, and once you feel comfortable with it being completely secured and closed. Let's see here. Just want to do it one more time. Okay, and then you can just put it through the loop and tie it tight, pull it tight. Okay, and you can do that, you know, tie it a couple of times just to make sure that it is secure. Okay, and pull that tight, and then just shove that into one of the legs, and then you can just continue crocheting just like that. So that was one thing I wanted to mention. So now that is completely closed, you can see that bottom hole is closed. So just continue crocheting and I'll meet you back up when I finish round 29. Alright, so I just finished round 29. So we did rounds 23 to 29 off camera. And now we want to do an assembly step and just remove the hook and just stuff the legs. So take your polyfill and just get it all the way down into the feet area and up the legs. And then once it's fully stuffed, then we'll go on to round 30, and at this point we'll start to decrease. Alright, both legs are stuffed and ready to go. And you can manipulate the shape of your feet to kind of have more of a front just by squeezing it and pushing it like this so that it looks like there's a heel and then a front toe. Or you can just have it more like this, like all the way around. So it's all the way around like that, but I kind of like it when there's like a foot looking kind of look to it. So that's up to you, and then that way it can stand, you know. But I mean, once we get the full body on there, it'll start standing on its own. So now, going on to round 30, we are going to do a decrease single crochet. So single crochet 2 together. Oh, you know what? I'm going to move my stitch marker up. Okay. So then do a decrease single crochet, and then do a regular single crochet in the next 13 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and then do another single crochet decrease, so single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches around, which should be 13 stitches, and then I'll meet you back up when I am back to the beginning. Okay, so I just finished round 30 just by doing those 13 single crochet at the end there. Now move up your stitch marker and we're going to go on to round 31, and we need to do another decrease single crochet. So do your decrease here, just like that. Okay, and then single crochet in the next 12 stitches. So the last round was 13, now this is 12. Oh, and at the end of round 30, you should have 28 stitches. At the end of this round, we are going to have 26 stitches. So make sure that you did your single crochet decrease and then single crochet in the next 12 stitches. So I did 3, 4, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then do your another single crochet decrease, and then single crochet, or one regular single crochet in the rest of the stitches around, which should be 12 stitches. And then, like I said, at the end of this round you should have 26 stitches, and I'll meet you back up when we'll go on to round 32. Alright, going on to round 32, I'm just going to move my stitch marker up, and on this round we just have to single crochet around. So no decreasing or anything, just do one single crochet in each stitch all the way around for, again, a total of 26 stitches. And then on the next round, round 33, excuse me, we will be doing another decrease. So just do one single crochet around this whole round, which is round 32, and then I'll meet you back up when we'll go on to round 33. Alright, going on to round 33, I just did one single crochet in each stitch around on the last round. So round 33 we have to do a decrease. So I just move my stitch marker up, and it says to do a single crochet decrease. So on the first stitch and second stitch, and then through 3 loops there. Okay, so a single crochet decrease, and then single crochet, regular single crochet in the next 11 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then do another single crochet decrease in the next stitch, just like that. Okay, and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches around, which should be 11. So at the end of this round, you should have 24 stitches, and I'll meet you back up when I'm going to go on to round 34. Alright, round 34, we're going to do another decrease. So actually, we're not doing the same style of decrease though. This time we're going to decrease 6 times around, okay? Because we have 24 stitches, so now we're going to go down to 18. So move your stitch marker up, and it says to single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and do that pattern 6 times, okay? So move your stitch marker up, decrease single crochet over these first 2 stitches here, like this. Okay, and then single crochet, a regular single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, again, do single crochet decrease. And then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, repeat that, single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So repeat that all the way around. You should have a total of 18 stitches at the end of this round, and I'll meet you back up when we'll go on to round 35. Alright, we just finished around 34 for our decrease, and we have 18 stitches on this round. So now we are on round 35, and just move your stitch marker up. Now all we need to do is just single crochet in each stitch around. So no decreasing, no increasing, no nothing. Just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for, again, a total of 18 stitches. And then after this round, there's an assembly step. We just need to complete stuffing the body, and then we can go on to round 36. So I'll meet you at the end of this round, 35, and just single crochet around this round. Alright, I just finished round 35, and I'm just going to remove my hook real quick, and I'm going to stuff the rest of this piece, this body. So just make sure that it's firm enough to, so that there's not any dents or anything, and you don't want to overstuff either. I think I said earlier in this video that you don't want to overstuff so that you see the polyfill in between the stitches. So just shove as much as you can get in there, like that. Okay, that should be good enough. And now going on to the next round, let me get my stitch marker out of there. I stuffed my stitch marker in there. My yarn, there we go. Alright, for the last round, we are going to decrease, and this is round 36, so we are going to do a single crochet decrease over the first stitch, and then a regular single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that 6 times. So decrease, and then a regular stitch, and then decrease, and a regular stitch. So every other stitch you're going to decrease. So at the end of this round you should have 12 single crochet, and I'll meet you back up when we are going to fasten off. Alright, so I just finished round 36. To fasten off, we're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then to fasten off I just chain 1. And for this one you're going to want to cut a long strand to sew your body to your head, like that. Okay, and then just pull your stitch marker out if you have one. Okay. And there's our body. Actually, our body can come this way. It really doesn't matter which side your body is on, you know, if you want it to be this way or that way, whichever. So just manipulate your body to however you feel like it looks good. And there you go. So now we have to attach the head to the body. That looks so weird right now. It's like a tadpole. So now let's attach, oh, you know what? I cut a long strand on this one. So whichever one has a longer strand, I guess, just shove it, the other one, into this piece. And to sew this on, you're really going to have to like measure this so that your head isn't like this, okay? You want it to be straight, okay? And that takes a little bit of practice. I have had to sew my head on a few times to get it to be straight. I'm still not a pro at that, but it's best to have your yarn needle handy, and I'll get you started and then I'll let you be to sew on your head. So decide where the back is. So that should be good. Okay, and then just whip stitch it to the body, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to sew this to the body, and when you get close to it being completely closed, you want to stuff a little bit of stuffing in there, just so that your head isn't, you know, falling off like this or anything. So you want it to be fully secure. And so I'll meet you up when I'm about to close this seam. Alright, so see how, so I'm only have 2 stitches left and the head is really tilted. So I want to, you know, let you know that you do have to stuff this neck portion just a little bit, you know, just to make sure that that head is not going to tilt when you completely sew it closed, you know. And you may need to use, you know, smaller fingers or some, like your crochet hook or some type of stick or something to get all the polyfill in there. But I swear it's worth it once you get that in there, so that the neck or the head isn't tilted when anybody is using these. So there we go. And then I just have these 2 stitches left to sew. So I just wanted to show you that part, and then I'm going to just sew this up and fasten this off, and then I'll meet you up. Next step we are going to be doing is the arms. Okay, so this is our bride so far. She has her legs and body and head. And you can see too, like when I shake this, her head isn't so wobbly because I did stuff it pretty nicely in that neck area. So that is what she looks like so far. And actually I didn't have to sew this many, you know, more than once actually. I did it right on the first try. So you may, you know, get lucky and do it right the first time. So now she doesn't stand by herself yet, but once we put the dress on her, she will. So, and that'll help her balance. So, like this one. You can see there. So she stands on her own with the dress. So this one is looking very nice, very similar to this one so far. And now we have to make the arms next, and then we'll put the dress on, and then we'll do the bouquet. Okay? So, or we'll make the dress and then make the bouquet. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, now for the arms. Take your skin tone color and make a slip knot. I'm sure by now you know how to make a slip knot because we made like a million of them so far in this pattern. And chain 2. So 1 and 2. I'm sure you know how to do that too because we've been doing that quite a bit. Now put 6 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And we've been doing that quite a bit, so I'm sure you know how to do that as well. So put 6 single crochet in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And then it says to single crochet 2 in each stitch around. So this is where your stitch marker wants to come in. Okay, and then put 2 single crochet in each stitch around, just like we've been doing, you know, for our rounds. Round 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just like that. So I'll meet you at the end of this round 2 and we'll go on to round 3. Alright, we have the 12 single crochet. Now we're done increasing, so we need to do a single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so no increasing here, just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and this is round 3. Okay, and then our next round is a little tricky. It is a new stitch we'll be learning, so I'll meet you up when I am going to go on to round number 4. I'm sorry, this is round number 3. I think I just screwed up saying that. So this is round number 3, and we're going to go on to round number 4 where there's a new stitch. So just single crochet around this one, and I'll meet you back up when we do that. Alright, starting round number 4, I just moved my stitch marker up, and now it says to do a popcorn stitch and then single crochet in the next 11 stitches, or the rest of the stitches around. A popcorn stitch, you have to, actually in my written pattern, it shows you how to do it. It explains it. So we have to yarn over, okay, go into the stitch, okay, which is the first stitch there. So here, I'll move my stitch marker so you can see that. So yarn over, go into that stitch, then yarn over and pull that through. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and go into that same stitch, okay, and then yarn over and pull that through. Okay, so now you have 5 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then yarn over once more and go into that stitch, and then yarn over and pull through. So you have 7 loops on your hook, and you may have to stretch it out a little bit so that you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 5, 6, and 7. It's going to be quite difficult to see them, but then you just yarn over then and pull through all 7 loops on your hook. Okay, and you know what, I think I did mine a little too tight, so I may have to re-show you. Oh, maybe not. Yep, I will. I'm going to re-show you that same stitch because I messed up. So do it a little bit looser. Okay, yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, you have 3 loops. Yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, you have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, go into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now you have your 7 loops. Let's recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yep. And then yarn over and pull through all 7 of those loops. There we go. That was a little difficult. There. And then just single crochet in the next 11 stitches. Okay? So that popcorn stitch is going to be your thumb of the bride's thumb. So just crochet in the next 11 stitches, and then I'll meet you up when we go on to round number 5. Alright, so we just finished round 4, and going on to round 5, all we have to do is just single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 12 single crochets, just like this. Okay, and then on round 6, we will be decreasing. Even though this is quite a tight stitch and small space already, we just have to decrease to 9 stitches in the next round, and I'll show you how to do that once I get there. Alright, so going to round 6 now, we are going to do a single crochet decrease. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, so it's a decrease, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then repeat that 3 times, and you'll have a total of 9 stitches. Okay, so 1 and 2. Okay, then decrease, single crochet, and then 1. It's really tight. And 2. Okay, and then our last decrease. Okay, 1 and 2. Alright, so now you should have 9 stitches all the way around. Now for rounds 7 to 14, okay, we are going to just single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm moving my stitch marker up, and we are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 9 stitches. And like I said, rounds 7 through 14. So I am going to do that, and I'll meet you back up when I'm finished with round 14 to go on to the next step. At this point, actually our arm is really short still, and I want to stuff just a little tiny bit, you know, just a little tiny bit that you can get your finger down into the hand. You want to basically just stuff the hand, and if a little bit of stuffing goes into the arm, that is okay too. But we're not going to, because we want these arms to kind of bend a little bit. So just make sure that you can stuff it at this point, and then we are going to continue. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned that we need to fasten off. We don't. We need to continue single crocheting around and until we finish round 20. Okay, so we are on round 14 here, and just single crochet now. Continue. So I just stuffed my hand here, and now I'm going to continue single crocheting in each stitch around for a total of 9 stitches, and we are going to single crochet until we finish round 20, and then we are going to fasten off. Okay, so there's be a total of 20 rounds on this hand and arm piece. Okay, so I'll meet you up when I have finished round 20. Alright, so once you finish round 20, we are going to fasten off. So just insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then to fasten off, I usually just chain one, and then cut your yarn a little bit of length, and then so that you can sew this on and just pull that all the way through, like that. Okay? So then you have your stuffed hand there. I can remove the stitch marker. And there is your arm. So off camera, I'm going to make the second arm. You want to make sure when you sew this onto the body that the thumbs are forward, like that, and just stuff this bottom half of it, like that, and then attach them to the body. So you need to rewind this and make another arm. And I'm going to attach these both to the body, and then I'll meet you back up when we are ready to make the dress. Alright, so I just finished making both arms and sewing them onto the doll. Sew them onto the second round from the top, or from the neck, I guess. So on the second round on the body here. Sew them on the second round, just so there's a little bit of space that looks like there's a neck. You don't want the arm to be like way up there. So now we can start on the dress. So our doll is done. You can, use this, make different types of clothing, and you can change her out. But the dress we're making actually is going to be crocheted on the body, and so you won't be able to take it off. But I'll show you, there might be a way for you to crochet back and forth and then sew a button on the back or something to close it so you can remove the dress, but this dress is non-removable. So I will show you how to do that with white or with whatever color you want to use for your dress. I'm using white because I'm making a bride. Make a slip knot. You know how to make a slip knot by now, I think. And chain 24. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just chain 24, and I'll meet you up when I have my 24. Alright, I have my 24 stitches, or 24 chains here. Now, you don't want to connect yet, because if you connect now by slip stitching into the first chain, you won't be able to slide this circle up your body. Okay, see? Circle is way too small to slide up or down over the body. So we need to wrap it around her torso here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her down, face down. I'm going to put this chain underneath her like this and have the yarn like this. Okay? So you're looking at it like this. Okay? And then we are going to go into the first chain there and slip stitch into the very first chain. Okay, so yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay? Just like that. So now this is secure on her, and now we'll be working from the top down. Okay, so you can see we're working from the top down. Okay, so now the next step in the pattern, let me get that pulled up here. Alright, it says for round 1, chain 1. So yarn over, pull through. Okay, and then single crochet in each of the chains around and then slip stitch to the beginning. Okay, so in the same stitch that we just slip stitched into, we're going to put a single crochet right in there. Okay, and then just single crochet along this whole chain. Alright, so I'm just going to single crochet in each stitch or each chain around, and since this is not, secure to the body, you could easily just turn the chain and not have to turn her whole body. Whatever you feel most comfortable doing. I usually just like to keep her laying flat on the table and then just crocheting all the way around this piece, moving the piece that I'm crocheting and not her whole body. But like I said, it's up to you. So just crochet around this piece and I'll meet you up when we're going to go on to round number 2. Alright, going on to round 2, I'm just finishing up round 1, and it says to slip stitch to the beginning, so slip stitch to the first single crochet of this round, like that. And then for round 2 it says to chain 2, but that does not count as a stitch, okay, so just chain 2. And then it says to double crochet now in each stitch around. Okay, so double crochet in that same stitch that you just chained up 2 in, just put a double crochet in there. So yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so do double crochets all the way around this piece, and I'll meet you up. We should have 24 double crochets at the end of this round, and then I'll meet you back up for the next round. We will be increasing. Okay, so I just finished round 2, and then it just says to slip stitch to the beginning, double crochet of that round. Okay, and then it says to chain 1. Okay, going on to round number 3. Before we go on to round number 3 though, I do want to mention, if you do want this dress to be removable, just separately chain 24, then single crochet in the second chain from the hook and across, or I'm sorry, chain 25, then single crochet in the next, 24 chains. Then I'll put this in my pattern as well. Then do round 2, except you want to turn your work and double crochet across. So it's basically just a strip. And then for round 3, you want to start working in the round. So then you'll connect. And so then this will be open here. This will be like open, and you can then put a bead or a button here, and then you'll be able to remove the dress and then button it up in the back. So I'll put that in the instructions as well, so you'll be able to see that. If you want to remove the dress and change out dresses or change out clothing. So going on to round number 3, it says to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the first stitch and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and do that all the way around. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, at the end of this round you'll have 30 single crochet, so then repeat that. 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so then repeat that again, and then I'll meet you back up when I have my 30 single crochet. Okay, finishing up round 3, just slip stitch to the first single crochet of the round. Okay, going on to round 4, we're going to do another increase, so chain up 1. It says to put 2 single crochet in the first stitch and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then repeat that around. So put 2 single crochet in this first stitch here, 1 and 2, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then repeat that. So put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then single crochet 1 in the next 4 stitches. And then at the end of this round you'll have 36 single crochets, and so I'll meet you up when I'm going to go on to round number 5. Okay, so you should have 36 stitches at the end of round 4, so now we're just going to slip stitch to the beginning and then go on to round number 5. Alright, so in round number 5 we're doing another increase. So it says to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch and then single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and repeat that around. So 2 single crochets in this first stitch. You know what though, I didn't chain up 1. Chain up 1, then single crochet 2 in the first stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then repeat that, so put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So at the end of this round you'll have 42 single crochet, so I'll meet you up when we're done with that. And then the next round we are still increasing, but it's going to be a little bit different, so don't go ahead. We'll just meet up when we're going to go on to round number 6. Alright, so at the end of round number 5 you should have 42 single crochet. We want to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet of that round. And now going on to round number 6 we want to chain up 2, 1 and 2, but like I said earlier, that chain up 2 does not count as a stitch. We just need to get to the height that we need. Now it says to double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Oh, double crochet 2 in each stitch all the way around for a total of 84. So this is now the end of the waist part, so now we're making this big portion of our dress here. Okay, so we're almost done. So now just put 2 double crochet. So yarn over, go into this first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so you know how to do a double crochet, so just put 2 double crochet in each stitch all the way around for a total of 84 double crochets. Okay, it is going to get a little bit crowded on this row, but it's only because it's going to make those nice waves in the skirt. So just do that, and then I'll meet you back up when we are going to go on to the next round. Alright, so I just finished round 6. I just put 2 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Okay, and now it says to slip stitch to the first double crochet. Oops. Just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Now rounds 7 through 18 is the rest of our pattern, and all we have to do is just chain up 2 and then put 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And then, so that's round 7 through 18. Okay, so that's it. And then we're going to fasten off and sew in our ends, and our dress is complete. And then we just have to embellish our dress with ribbon. And then the very last thing is our bouquet. So we're so close to being done now. So just do your 1 double crochet in each stitch around, then slip stitch to the first double crochet of the round, and then chain up 2, and then continue working that pattern, double crocheting around for rounds 7 through 18. And then I'll meet you back up when I'm finished with round 18. Alright, so I just did all my rows for the dress, so I just slip stitched to the beginning, chained 1 to fasten off, and then just cut my yarn here and pull all the way through and pull that tight. Okay, so now we're going to just sew in our ends, and our dress is complete, but it's like really droopy here. So I'm gonna go and grab some ribbon, and I'll show you how to secure it so it fits like this one. So you can see there's a band here. So we're going to cinch that tighter so it's gonna look more like this. Okay, and then we'll have the ribbon around there. Now you can choose whatever color ribbon you want, but I'm going to use gold. And then we will start with the bouquet. Alright, so situate your dress how you want it to be on your bride. Make sure that the seam in the back is toward the back side. And then situate it how you want it, and kind of, you know, make the ruffles look good in the front. See that that is the front that you want it to be. And this is the type of ribbon I'm using. Okay, so you can see the exact type, and you can see here that it is just 1/8 inch wide. Okay, 1/8 inch wide, and on this spool there are 10 yards. So you can see that this is the exact ribbon I'm using, but you can use whatever color you want or whatever type of ribbon you want. Just make sure it's 1/8 inch wide. Okay, and to do this, now we are going to, actually I don't know if you can see in here, but on this last row of single crochets I weaved in the ribbon underneath on this one. And then in the back, you can see that I tied it once, and then I tied it around the waist here, and then I tied it in a bow. Okay, so that's exactly how we're going to do it. So take your yarn needle and your ribbon and thread it like that. And I'm not even going to cut my ribbon yet until it's all weaved in, so I know how much I need. So go toward the back where you want the back to be, and I'm kind of putting the knot, the slip knot that I made in the beginning, kind of underneath her back arm, like the back of her arm, so it's not directly in the back. And then go to the last single crochet round here, okay, and go in and out of each stitch, just weaving it through. And it's okay if you weave it into the body, then it'll be definitely secure to the body. But if you don't want that look, or if you want to be able to remove the dress, then just make sure you don't sew this to the body. But like I'm doing here, just going in and out of each stitch all the way around, and then I'll meet you back up when I show you the next step. Alright, so I just made it all the way back around, and I'm just going to skip this last stitch here, so that'll be like the center basically. And now we are going to tie this just once around. So cross them over and then put one through like that. Okay? And now we're going to pull quite tight to kind of make a waistline. Okay? Like that. And you can see in the front, if that's how you like it to look, you want to really manipulate it and pull it as tight as you think will look good. Maybe like that. That'll be good. Okay? And then what we're going to do, you can tie another knot here to secure that, or what we're going to do now is wrap this each side around to the front and then cross over, and you can even cross it, you know, on the side so you don't really see that it's crossed. And then back to the back. Okay, and at this point then you know how much you need, how much yarn you need, or I'm sorry, ribbon, so you can cut your ribbon and then tie this around and then tie it in a bow. I just do bunny ears and then around. However you tie your bows, and then you want to, though, on this one, double knot it so that it doesn't come undone. And what I usually do is tie a small bow and then use my crochet hook to tie it in a double knot, because these are really tiny bows and my fingers are too big. So there you go. Okay, so now that's secure. Now I have a lot of extra ribbon that I can cut however long I want them, just like that. And then you can make this look good by taking your needle and just covering that up. Like that. So now it's a nice straight ribbon, and you have your waistline, and everything looks fabulous. There you have it. And then your bow is in the back. So now this is secure on your bride, okay? Now, if you wanted this to be removed, I would just tie this a little less tightly, and that way it can be easily removed, but I'm not planning to remove this. So there you have it. There's your dress and your bride, or your doll, and now we are going to make a bouquet, but if you don't need a bouquet and you just wanted a dress on your doll, there you have it. And your project is complete at this point. So, just continue on watching. We're going to make the bouquet, and then we are going to embellish by putting a necklace on, 2 earrings, and beads in the bouquet. So continue watching to learn all of that. Okay, so now I have the bride done. You can see how it looks so similar to the first one I made. Now we're going to work on the bouquet here, and we're going to be using red yarn and then the white for the bouquet bottom. Okay, I highly suggest you start using a smaller needle for this, because what we're going to do actually is take our red yarn and twist it apart so you can see the 4 strands. So we are going to take 2 and 2. Okay, so we're going to split it in half and work with 2 strands. Okay, so we're going to split them and untwist them. Now you're going to need about 2, maybe 3 yards. I would just, you know, basically cut yarn generously in this portion, just so that you can crochet the flower, each flower. So what I'm gonna do is just cut my yarn and then untwist this, and then make sure you have 2 of the strands in each one. If you have red thread, you know, go ahead, use your red thread. That way then you won't have to use your yarn and split it in half and do all this extra work. But I don't have red thread, so I'm just gonna split my yarn in half, and then I'll meet you up when I'm ready to start crocheting. Alright, so I just split my yarn in half, so I have 2 sets now of this, so of 2 strands. And we're going to be working with 1 right now, and you all have to do that twice because we're going to make 3 flowers. Okay, so with one of the strands that have the 2 strands, I guess, same size hook, E, we are going to make a slip knot, and for the first flower and for the other 2 flowers, you're going to repeat this segment here. So for the flower, chain 16. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then it says put 3 double crochets in the 3rd chain from the hook. So you see 1 and 2 and 3. Yarn over, go into that 3rd chain. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we have to make 2 more right in there. Okay, so we just put 3 double crochets in the 3rd chain from the hook. Then it says slip stitch into the next chain. So insert your hook in the next chain, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, then 3 double crochets in the next chain. So put 3 double crochets in the very next chain right there. 1, 2, and 3. And then slip stitch in the next stitch. So go into the very next stitch there and slip stitch. Okay, and then repeat that all the way across. So in the very next stitch, put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then in the very next stitch we are going to slip stitch. So repeat that across, and then I will meet you back up when we are going to fasten off. Alright, so I'm just coming to the end here, so I'm ending with a slip stitch. If you end with a 3 double crochet grouping, that's okay. Then chain 1 to fasten off, and I'm just going to pull this all the way through, I think, even though it's quite long. I ended up cutting too much yarn, but that's okay. So now this is what one of the flowers is going to be, and what we're going to do is spiral this all the way into a circle, like a spiral. Okay, so that's one of our flowers, and to secure it in this spiral, we are going to use this long strand with that small needle I showed you earlier. This is much smaller than the one I've been using. I've been using this one so you can see the difference in size. Okay, and we're going to use the smaller one today for this flower. So just thread your long strand. Actually, I might cut this a little bit. Okay. We want to make sure that it is long enough for sewing and for attaching to the bouquet. So And you want to make 3 of these, okay? So you can, pause this and make your other 2, and then we can sew them all 3 together, or whatever you feel most comfortable doing. So you don't need much to sew this on. Alright, there we go. So make your spiral, your flower, so it looks the way you want it to look. And then turn it upside down so you can see the bottom side of it. And just go in from one end through all the layers out the other side. Okay, and then go back and forth all the way around the piece so that you secure all the layers. And this is just our straggler. Okay, so that seems pretty secure to me. Now we can turn it back to the top, and you can see that this, you can manipulate it and, stretch it out or do whatever you need to make it look like a flower. But this is what our flower is looking like so far, our little rose. And then toward the end of this video, we'll be attaching a bead into the center here. Or you can attach your bead right now by putting this through the center like this, attaching your bead, and then going back in, which I'll go get my beads and I'll show you exactly how to do that. We'll do that instead. Alright, so I actually, the needle I was using is too big for the beads that I have, so I have to change out my needle. You may not have to do that, because depending on what type of beads you're using. Alright, so I got a different needle because the needle, or the beads I'm using, are smaller. So the needle I was using, I wasn't using this one. I don't remember which one I was using, but the one I'm going to use, the beads I have can easily go through the whole needle. So it's all good. Okay, we don't want to lose our beads. So I have to yarn my needle, and I hope I can do that because this needle head is so little. So I'm going to yarn my needle, and then I'll meet you up when I'm ready to sew on the bead. Alright, so I yarned my needle here, and I just put a bead on, and I'm just pulling this all the way through if I can. It's going to be a little difficult because the beads I'm using are very small. Okay, so you want to position it then where you want it to go, and then insert your hook or your needle back into the flower toward the back. And there you have it. Your bead is in the center of your flower. So now I would leave it, I would take the needle off and set this aside and make the other 2 exactly the same, and then I will show you how to make the bouquet bottom, and then we will sew these flowers onto our bouquet. Alright, so you can see now I have all 3 of my flowers done, and I just set them aside right now, but we are going to work on the bouquet holder thing real quick. Stand these up. Alright, so we need white, and no more tearing your yarn apart or anything like that. We're just using the full strand here, and make your slip knot. Okay, and then we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, And then put 6 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So we've been doing that so much this whole pattern. They're all our different parts. So just put your 6 single crochet in that second chain from the hook, and then I'll meet you up when I have done that. Okay, so I have 6 here. Now we're going to work in continuous rounds, so if you need to, put your stitch marker right there. And now rounds 2 through 5, we are just going to single crochet 1 in each stitch around. Okay, so rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, we are going to do that. And then I'll meet you up when we will go on to round number 6. Okay, so I just did rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now it says to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, so for a total of 12 stitches. So just go right into the next stitch and put 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and then 2 single crochets in each one around for a total of 12 stitches. So I'll meet you back up when I have 12 single crochets on round 6. Alright, this is what our work looks like so far, so you can see it flaring out a little bit. On this bouquet, you can see now we're going to go on to the last round, and I don't know if you can see the back of this. But see how it's spiraled? So it starts double crochets and then it ends double crochets, but it's in a spiral. So that's how we're going to end it. So I'll show you what that means. So we're going to start with double crochets now. We're not working with single crochets anymore, and we are going to have 18 stitches at the end of this round. This is round number 7. So put 2 double crochet in the first stitch. 1 and 2, and then put 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and then repeat that around. So put 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next. Okay, and then I'll meet you back up when I have my 18, and I'll show you how we're going to fasten this off because we are working with double crochets. Alright, so this is what our work looks like right now. We're back to the beginning. We have 18 double crochets around, and it looks like a spiral. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually skip this next stitch here and slip stitch into the stitch after that. Okay? That way that it will be an even look to it. So just slip stitch in there. And then to fasten off, I usually just chain 1. Cut this, generously, because we are going to sew this to the hand. And pull that all the way through. Okay, and there's our bouquet holder. So you can stretch this out to kind of flatten this. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And then we need to sew the flowers onto our bouquet. Alright, so I assume you already know how to sew things because we've been sewing quite a bit during this whole project. So make sure you sew these flowers into this bouquet. You want it to look like this bouquet, so make sure they are squished nicely together. Okay, and you can see in this bouquet I did not go through the stitches. I kind of went through the backs of the stitches, so you can see that they're, and then if you spread these apart you can see how messy it is in the middle there. So you shove all the strands in the middle there and nobody's gonna see that. See? And then the bottom of our bouquet looks like this. And then I'm gonna sew it to the hand. We're just going to whip stitch a couple of rounds to the hand, and then you're set to go. And you can put this in any hand, any hand. I mean, on this one I have it on the right hand. I think on my other one, my one that I'm working on right now, I'm gonna put it on the other hand, on the right hand, or the left hand, sorry. So it's really up to you. I mean, you could sew it to both of the hands on each side, so she's like this. So it's really your choice. So just sew the flowers in there and then sew the bouquet to the hand, and I'll meet you up when we are going to embellish the rest of our bride with a necklace, earrings, and a veil. Alright, so now you can see that I just made the bouquet and sewed these to the bouquet holder, and then I sewed it onto the hand there, so you can see that. So now we are so close to being done. So now, let me just situate the skirt here. Okay, so now she's standing. Now we just have to do the necklace, the earrings, and the veil. So for the necklace and earrings, what I need you to do is get that really tiny hook and take the normal yarn or take thread. What I'm going to do is actually just split this in half like we did earlier for the flowers. And you want it to be the skin tone color, because we're doing the necklace right now. Yarn your needle, okay, and hold the other end between two fingers, and then start putting beads on your needle. And you can do 10 or 15. You don't have to do the whole round, like all the way around the neck, because these are just going to sit in the front and nobody's going to look at the back. And then you don't waste so many beads. So you just want to get enough on there. And before I was using this pliers because it was helping. Maybe it's not going to help. You may need a smaller needle. So just just pull your beads onto your thread, and then once I have my beads all on my thread, I am going to sew this to the neck. So I'll meet you back up when I do that. Alright, so I put 10 beads on my string, and I think that's long enough. That just goes to each end, each side of the neck. So just wrap it around the neck, flip this over, and tie it in a knot. Actually in like a triple, quadruple knot, so that it does not fall off. And then we'll just sew in these ends into the body, so they'll be hidden. Okay, so do that, and then I'll meet you up when we are going to sew on the earrings. Alright, for the earrings now, we are going to take that same concept by splitting the yarn and yarning our needle and just putting one bead on there and then sewing it to the bottom lobe of the earring, or I'm sorry, the ear. So let me yarn my needle here. Actually, I may just need one strand. There we go. Okay, and then take your bead, yarn your thing like that. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't put the bead on. We're going to go in from the back and then put the bead on. Okay, and then go through, and then go through again from the front to the back of the ear, so it's secure on there like that. Okay, then tie your knots, like 3 or 4 of them, and then sew that into the head, and then do the other ear the same way. And then I'll meet you up when we are going to put the veil on the bun. Alright, so you can see I put in both of the earrings, or both of the beads for the earrings. We have the necklace done and the bouquet has the beads in it already. The very last thing we have to do is add the veil. So get your tulle ready. If you have tulle, or if you wanted to crochet something for the veil, you can do that. But on mine I just used this piece of tulle. And what you need to do is have it be a rectangle, so longer than it is wider. And then take these top corners here and cut it more like a circular edge on this side. So cut off these two corners. So I'll show you. So it's kind of like a circle or oval kind of shape on this end. It does not have to be perfect because this end is going to be on the hair part. Okay, so I just cut off those two corners, and now you can see if I put it on the bun here, it's going to go like this. So about right here is where I want to tear the hole. And you basically just have to cut just a little slit and kind of tear it big enough, okay? Then take it and pull it around the bun. Okay, like that. So now it looks like this. And then we are going to roll this extra stuff around back like that. Okay? And then we're going to pull it together in the back like this. And then we're going to twist it once. So it's like this, okay? But I'm gonna let go of it, and it's gonna let go because I need to cut, or actually I have a piece of ribbon. You need to cut a piece of ribbon that you used for your waistband and wrap it around the bun like this, and wrap it underneath, or I'm sorry, on top of the veil first, and then wrap it around the veil to the underneath part. Okay, like this. And what I actually am going to do is tie it and you want to make sure that it's covering everything in front, so it's covering the tulle. Okay, and all the tulle is all gathered. And this may take a little trial, or if you have, you know, somebody with you who can hold it while you tie it or something, that may help. Okay, so I'm just going to tie it like that. And then I'm going to tie it around in the back. We're going to lift the veil up and tie it in a knot in the back. Okay, then you can cut that short because nobody's going to see that. Stretch out your veil, and there you have it. Now this one is a little bit too long, and this edge here is not as round as I want it, so you can really shape your veil the way you want it to be. And if you want it longer, if you want it to have like a train, that would be really cute. Otherwise, just cut it along the bottom edge of the dress, like that. And there you have it. Your entire bride is completed. And this ribbon is being uncooperative, but we'll do that later. So I just want to show you the completed bride, how it looks all the way around. It looks absolutely lovely. Okay. So thank you so much for watching and making this bride with me, or a princess or doll or whatever you want it to be. And I think this will be a great wedding gift. These are too big to be cake toppers, but they'd be cute by the cake or on the gift table or something. So there's two brides there. Just be sure to check the links in the description of this video so you can see my website and my free patterns. This pattern is a free pattern, so you can follow along the written pattern for it. And check the links for the pattern, my website. Share your work on my Facebook. If you make these, I would so love to see your crocheted bride and groom. Make sure to watch my groom video, which is coming up next, so you can make the groom as well. And if you make this doll, please share it with me because I would love it to see it. So share it on my Facebook. All the links are in the description. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video so you can save it for later. Thank you so much for watching. Happy hooking!